What's up, guys? It's Dooney Guy here. Today we are going to be talking about the MEEPO V3 as I show some footage of this little ride that I took with a GoPro. Now, I've had this board for about 2 years and I've been on and off riding it. Some of the issues I've had over the years do include things such as the battery going bad, from overloading it. I recommend you guys take it easy on the motors. Like, it's okay to always ride in mode 4, but I would occasionally take breaks. If you're trying to pull multiple people, that's a bad idea. I would keep the load as low as you can on this thing, but usually you can be fine just riding around on mode 4. It might overheat occasionally, depending on the conditions, but you know, as long as you're not overloading it and you're riding it as you should be, I haven't really had any problems with it. Now, when it comes to stability and carving, I noticed that it's pretty easy to get speed wobbles if you're going very fast, but that's only if you don't really know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, this board does seem to ride pretty well, and if you put the looser Magura bushings, I think they're like called the banana bushings, on the front, or you could have both of them as the loose ones. The turning radius is quite good. You can turn pretty much anywhere whenever you have the looser bushings on, but note with the looser bushings it requires a lot more skill to not get speed wobbles at high speed. In this video I was running the red 100A bushings in the back and the 90s in the front, so that I could have a little more stability at speed but still be able to turn pretty sharp. And I only went maximum like 20 miles an hour in this video, but that's the whole reason I did that, is literally just so I could you know, feel safer with the looser bushings, because I thought it'd be more fun to be able to carve and, you know, also be able to go a little fast. So I tried the looser bushings in this video. Now, some complaints I have when it comes to the ride of the board, though, is despite the big, somewhat squishy looking wheels, they're actually pretty hard in diameter, my bad. And the wheels, you feel every crack in the sidewalk, and the bigger cracks really like make the back of the board jump up. The front of the board not so much, but the back really jumps up on the big bumps. And there's a lot of GoPro effects, so you can't really tell how big some of these bumps are, but they were pretty big and annoying to ride on. But yeah, all in all, the board, I do indeed like how it rides and all of that. It's pretty nice, and I feel like it's also very waterproof. There's some puddles here, they're very small, but I've went through some severe water. I've even ridden it in snow before. The board holds up great to water. Obviously, be careful with it, because they don't advertise it being waterproof, but it is pretty splash proof. Now, the board looks like it's in pretty good condition, because I've touched up some of the spots with some black paint, but in general, the board's very durable. I've had one of my friends wipe out at very high speeds. I think it was like 27 miles an hour or something like that, and he hit a bump, got a speed wobble because his legs were too locked out, and the board flew into the air and hit straight into a fence, and it was completely fine. So yeah, I mean, the board's very durable. It's not the smoothest ride. Like, okay, so the throttle, when it comes to the throttle is a little bit, it's very smooth feeling, but it feels a little bit delayed. Like whenever you let go, it has a slight delay when it actually lets go. Sometimes it doesn't feel perfectly 100% linear, but when it comes to the actual applying the throttle, it's pretty smooth. And when it comes to the loudness, it's pretty quiet, although when you're braking you can really hear the motors wind up, but it's not loud, it's just you can hear them. And one thing I will note with this board, just because the way everything's set up, you do get a lot of foot fatigue, because it's pretty heavy feeling, and like, not heavy, but pretty stiff feeling on the bumps, so your feet get really tired pretty fast. But all in all, the board is pretty fast. It almost reaches the top speed. I've never reached the top speed because I'm a little too worried about speed wobble, even for the time I've had it. But I've never just gotten that into like being serious about riding it. But yeah, the board, I've seen people hit the top speed. It takes a little bit if you really want to get to the full speed, but for the most part, it's a quick board. It's definitely faster than like a boosted board. I don't know if the ride is smoother, but for the price, it's a good board. And if I wanted to ride more, if I did more like electric boarding, I'd buy another one. Like, I don't know. I guess I would buy it again, but I feel like there's also possibly nowadays better options. If you're gonna buy it in 2022, there might be better options for electric boards, but at least at the time I bought it, and probably still now, it's still a good option. I mean, I paid $500 for it, and it really does the work for $500. You know, it has also, the range is really good. I can go very far on it. Like, I used to have a Razor dirt bike before this, and it could go way further than that. And of course faster than the stock bike. So yeah, that is my thoughts on the MEEPO V3. And you know, I hope you guys got some good information out of this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.